Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the yield curve and what it means when the yield curve becomes inverted. The yield curve shows the interest rates of bonds. A bond is a fixed income derivative in which the principal must be paid back at the bond's maturity date. The principal is the amount that you lend and the maturity date is the date the bond expires. An example, let's say you lend £200 to your government for a duration of 4 years at an interest rate of 5%. At the end of every year, you will receive 5% interest, which in this case is £10. And at the end of the 4 years, you will receive the original £200 that you paid for the bond. Now, the yield curve depicts the various interest rates at which the same borrower is able to borrow for different periods of time. And we have interest rates on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. Now, longer term loans have a higher interest rate. This is because there is more risk. A lot more can happen in 4 years in comparison to 4 months. Also, when a person loans their money for a long period of time, they give up their ability to use that money. And if a better investment opportunity comes along, they will miss out. So this is known as liquidity premium theory. Now, if short-term rates are higher than long-term rates, the yield curve becomes inverted, as shown in the second diagram. And this is a sign that the central bank is constricting the flow of credit to the economy. Now, why is credit important? When a borrower receives credit, he or she can increase their spending, and spending drives the economy, as one person's spending is another person's income. Also, GDP measures the size of a country's economy, and the formula for GDP is investment spending plus household spending plus government spending plus net exports. Here we have the short-term debt cycle, also known as the business cycle. We have GDP on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. So spending increases and prices rise. The increase in spending is fueled by the availability of credit. When the amount of spending is greater than the production of goods, prices rise, and this is inflation. Inflation is a rise in prices over time that decreases the purchasing power of money. Now, the central bank does not want too much inflation. Thus, seeing prices rise, it raises interest rates. At this point, when the central bank raises interest rates, the yield curve becomes inverted. Now, at higher interest rates, fewer people can afford to borrow money. Spending falls and incomes drop, leading to a recession. A recession is when there is a fall in the GDP for 2 consecutive quarters, or a total of 6 months. Now you know why an inverted yield curve is seen as a negative sentiment about the economy's upcoming performance.